Optic Hub, Cambridge Science Revision made easy.
In today's session, we look into the internal structure of the leaf. From the previous discussion, we noted that the leaf is an important organ to the plant. That is where the photosynthetic process takes place. So today, let's dwell into the inner parts of the leaf. We look at what are the key components of the leaf that help it to perform its function. So on my screen sharing, there is a diagram that details the internal structure of the leaf. And we are going first to label these parts, thereafter look at the functions that this part do in a leaf. From the starting point, we have this thin outer layer on the top surface of the leaf. We call it the cuticle, or what we commonly refer to as the thin, waxy cuticle. After the thin, waxy cuticle, we have what we call the epidermis. So we have two layers of the epidermis, the upper epidermis on the upper surface of the leaf and the lower epidermis on the lower surface of the leaf. But what we note here is that the cuticle is only on the upper surface. It's thin, it's waxy and waterproof on the top layer of the leaf. That is the cuticle, followed by the upper epidermis. Then we have what we call the palisade mesophyll layer that is made up of the mesophyll cells. The next layer, we talk of the spongy mesophyll layer, made up of the cells that are loosely arranged. They are scattered. There's plenty of what we call intercellular air spaces within. We have this part of the leaf referred to as the vein that contains the major tissues for transport of materials. Here is where we have the xylem tissue and the phloem tissue. On this lower surface, we have the openings. We refer to them as the stomata. And there are special cells around the stomata. We refer to them as the guard cells. They are the guard cells that control the opening and closing of the stomata. Let's move to the next part of the leaf. In this section here, we have now the details of this part of the leaf, what they do, and what special features do they have that help them carry out their function. So we have the cuticle, which is thin and waxy, and this is important because it helps the leaf prevent excessive loss of water. The layer is also transparent, and this allows the sunlight rays to pass through so that the photosynthesis process can proceed. And lastly, we know that this layer is very thin, and the thinness is good because it provides a shorter distance through which the light rays penetrate to the leaf. The next layer, we have what we refer to as the upper epidermis. And this is basically a protective layer of cells that comes next after the cuticle. And these cells also are transparent and very thin to allow the sunlight energy to penetrate through the leaf. So these two form the protective part of the leaf. And the cuticle prevents loss of water, but transparent to allow light. The upper epidermis is also transparent to allow light pass through. We have this crucial part of the leaf referred to as this palisade mesophyll layer. The palisade mesophyll layer has special features in the sense that it is packed with what we refer to as the palisade cells. And these palisade cells are rod-shaped and they contain plenty of chloroplasts. And these chloroplasts are the ones that trap the sunlight energy and utilize it in the photosynthetic process. So basically here we note that photosynthesis takes place in the palisade mesophyll layer. That is where most of the photosynthetic process of the leaf takes place. And the palisade cells are closely packed to one another in this palisade mesophyll layer. And this maximizes the absorption of sunlight energy so that we can have enough of the photosynthetic process taking place. Then we have the veins. We noted that the vein contains two special tissues. We have what we call the xylem and the phloem. The xylem transports water and mineral salts from the stem of the plant. Of course, these water and minerals are absorbed from the soil through the stem, then to the leaves through the xylem. We have the phloem part, which is a vessel that transports the manufactured food now from the leaf to other parts of the plant. So basically the veins, just as we humans have the veins for the transportation of blood, the plants have the veins that transport water and minerals. That is the xylem, transporting water and minerals from the roots to the stem, then to the leaf. And then we have the phloem that transports the manufactured food from the leaf to other parts of the plant. We have the spongy mesophyll layer. The cells in this layer, as we mentioned, are loosely packed. There is plenty of air spaces, and this allows free circulation of gases, and therefore there is proper gaseous exchange. Remember, during the day, this leaf needs carbon dioxide into the leaf and oxygen out of the leaf. And this spongy mesophyll layer acts as the lungs because it has more spaces, air spaces, that allow free circulation of air and hence efficient diffusion of gases as we exchange these gases in and out of the leaf. And on the lower surface of the leaf, we have the stomata, which are tiny pores or small openings on the leaf that allow gases and, of course, water vapor in and out of the leaf. And leaves have more stomata on the lower surface than on the upper surface. Why? This is an adaptation that helps them minimize the loss of water. Remember, plants also lose water in the form of water vapor by the process of transpiration through the stomata. So you realize that as an adaptation to reduce excessive loss of water, plants have more stomata on the lower surface of the leaf than on the upper surface of the leaf. We have this lower epidermis, just like the upper epidermis. The lower epidermis is a protective layer of cells, and this produces a waxy cuticle too. In some plant species, they have the waxy cuticle on the lower surface, and this is purely a protective layer for the leaf. Now, test yourself. Let's check and see. We have some parts here, and if we are asked to label these parts, we should be able to label these parts.